Quinn?
Quinn!
Quinn!
Yay!
That's a Quinn. No longer Quinn.
For those of you that came later, I'm going back to my maiden name.
Yes.
I was saw that why on Facebook. Thank you for having me. Thank you for being here.
Enjoy 10 minutes.
So I started out in this business as a corporate leadership development coach. And what that meant was I would go into companies, work with the managers, work with the executives, work with the team, teaching them how to communicate effectively, teaching them how to engage their employees, and definitely emotional intelligence. And 2 years ago, everything changed in my life because the Redondo Beach Youth Commissioner came to me and said, I heard about you and your leadership development, and I want you to be the leadership director in a new community council that I'm having. And it's all about youth, education, prevention, helping them get to where we want them to be. And so as I started being in this council and working with the teens and listening to them and realizing that what I was taught and what I had been implementing and teaching these executives was the exact thing that they needed and what their family needed. Their parents are the CEO of the family and their director or director. The older kids are the managers, the team leaders. The younger kids are the workers, right? Or the people that worked. And so when you look at that and that dynamic, it's much different. Then we're looking at how do we create a structure in a family that is successful as a Google? What processes? So then the mind shifts, because then when you have a business, right, just like Peter was talking, we have a plan, we have a system, we have a process. And that's how businesses grow. As a family, a lot of times we just kind of wing it. We never learn how to be parents. We never learn how to implement what we learned or how we do it. But when I started teaching them using the modules that I learned for corporate, it worked. The teams woke up. The parents got it. And the first thing we did, just like we do in a business, what's your core values? What's the individual core values and what it is of your family? When they understood what was important, then we go into mission statement for the family. We go into vision, and vision is about legacy. Right? What are you as parents wanting to leave behind for your kids, and what do you want to instill in them to leave for their kids? And then we go into culture. Right? There's always that family in your neighborhood, probably when you grew up, where everybody migrated there, right? It was, for whatever reason, it was fun, the parents were great, and whatever it was, they had a culture. And we all have a culture in our family, whether it's planned or by default, and you don't want it by default. So when they start learning all these techniques, their family dynamic changes because there's something to talk about now. It's not just, how was your day? Good, and then they're off to their room on the video game, right? And so that's one reason I wrote my book, was that bridge on how to do that structure. The one thing that I learned about being in this council that was amazing was what the teams were telling me. I started learning about the statistics of what's happening to our teens today. One statistic that really made me kind of wake up and was sad about was that the average teen in today's time has the anxiety and stress level of a psychiatric patient in the 1950s. Okay, think about that. You may wonder why. Why the stress? Why the anxiety? Well, think about it. Divorce is an all-time high. And a lot of these divorces are not amicable. We're talking about two volatile parents, and they're stuck in the middle, being ping-ponged back and forth physically, and that's if they're not being used to manipulate by each parent, okay? Then we're also talking about two working parents. I don't know about you, but when I grew up, my mom was home. How many of you at least had one parent? Now, pretty much all of them both parents are gone. Then you have the stress on getting to college. And we all know how hard it is. I think we have a Pinnacle member who helps kids get into college now. It's very, very difficult. They have to do extracurricular activities, and you know about that. A lot more pressure on them. And one of the things they turn to is substance. They have things like Skittle parties. And a Skittle party is basically they would take their parents, grandparents, aunts' prescription drugs, put in a bowl, because all different colors, and then they would reach in and pick whatever one they want out, and then they would drink with it.
Oh my God.
Okay. Another one, which is very shocking, and it's very important that we get educated, is alcohol. It's one incident they're doing is they're dipping tampons in the alcohol. The boys are putting it up the orifice, and the girls are putting it up there. And because the alcohol gets straight into the bloodstream. And how we're finding this out is they're getting rushed to the hospital because of alcohol poisoning. Because it's not regulated when it's up. And it also is, we're talking about infection, things like that. Being on this council has changed my life because I get to work with the mayor. I get to work with the director of prevention and treatment center at Torrance Memorial Hospital. And we're on stage together because if I'm not there to help with the family and the education and the prevention, it's gonna go to the mayor, which is the police. And then once they get arrested, then it goes to the substance abuse center. And we don't want them to get there. We don't want our family. And if you think that this is only happening in inner city, you're wrong. I come from Redondo Beach. I deal with kids in Manhattan, Hermosa, PV. These are highly wealthy family. The only difference is one group has money to hide it, and the other group doesn't have the money to hide it. That's the only difference. It's the same substance problem. We see it over and over again. And it's the pain that they're going through, and we don't know what to do with it because the parents aren't there. And Dr. Donnie Watson is the director of the Torrance Memorial Substance Abuse Center. What he said, he usually starts after my speech, is the number one way to prevent your teen from getting into substance abuse is the family. It starts with all, and it's not just the family of the parent. We're talking about the aunts, the uncles, the neighbor, all of us coming together as a community and helping. And when we get educated on what's going on, and we start a conversation with our children and our friends' children, because sometimes I think our neighbor's kid will talk to us more than they talk to the parents, right? And when it takes a village to raise a child, we're the village. And we all get involved, we get educated on what's going on, and we're there for each other. This is how it's gonna change. And that's one reason why I bridged that gap, was to start bringing a communication back into the family and knowing what to say. And it's not just, how was your day? Yay, you won that sports game. Okay, here's some money, here's, some money to go with your friends. So my book came out in December, and I have had really, really good positive reviews from it. I was telling Matt today I have an appointment at 6:30 because I got introduced somebody in San Diego who's coming up here to meet with me. He has a lot of connection and some Hollywood connection, and he wants to help me get my book out. For me, my book is about a message to change, to cause a revolution, to cause a movement, and that's what I want my business about now, is creating a movement and a change in all of us as parents and as leaders to our teens who are our future. Thank you.